Hello, my name is Esmeralda Grande. This is a status report for the summary of case findings for the decedent Ana Garcia. Ana Garcia was 20 years old at the time of her death. She was 5 feet 6 inches and weighed 135 pounds. She was a college student and worked in a research lab in the Gentry Life Science building. A usual day for Ana Garcia would be to go to her college classes and work at the Gentry Life Science building. Ana Garcia would also practice her soccer skills very often, and she would constantly post on social media about her life and would spend a lot of time with her friends and enjoyed playing soccer. The day before her death, Ana had a headache and had been taking medication for it. Ana had also been staying up late to prep labs and was very sleepy. The day right before Ana had been found dead, Sam Green, a soccer teammate of hers, had ran into her and caused a bruise on her head. Ana had also had a recent argument with Eric, her boyfriend, during a date before she was found dead. At 10 in the morning, a 911 call had been received from Taylor Diaz, a 19-year-old college student and classmate of Ana. By 10:10 in the morning, police arrived and secured the scene. Ana's body had been found in the Gentry Life Science building. At the scene, Ana was found laying face down next to a table, and the chair had been knocked over near her. Her chemistry book and the phone were also on the floor right next to her. There was blood next to her, on her book, and on the table. There was a lot of evidence at the scene, some of which included Ana, a note in her left pocket, an unidentified hair, maggots on her body, eggs from an insect near her, her phone, blood next to her, blood on her chemistry book, and blood on the table. There was also a spilled substance and the glove in the trash can. All persons of interest included Eric Piedmont, a 20-year-old who was Ana's boyfriend, Dominique Hall, a 19-year-old who was Ana's classmate, Taylor Diaz, 19-year-old and was Ana's friend, Dr. Elsie Opal, 50-year-old and Ana's professor and advisor. There was also Sam Green, who was 20 years old and was one of Ana's soccer teammates. The top persons of interest are Eric Piedmont. He was Ana's boyfriend and had recently been seen arguing with Ana. When under a polygraph, he seemed to be lying about his relationship with Ana, saying that they were on good terms at the time of her death. He also seemed to be lying about whether or not he killed her. His hair was also found at the crime scene, and the note that was in Ana's left pocket had his fingerprint on it. His blood also matched up with the blood at the crime scene. Dominique Hall was Ana's classmate and was highly competitive with her. Ana had recently gotten a scholarship that Dominique had wanted. When under a polygraph test, Dominique Hall seemed to be lying about whether or not she killed Ana. Her fingerprint was also on the glove that was at the crime scene, and her blood type matched up with the blood at the crime scene. Based on the polygraphs, the people who might have been lying were Eric Piedmont and Dominique Hall because their vital signs were inconsistent. The hair sample at the crime scene was Eric Piedmont's. Fingerprints were found on the note that was in Ana's left pocket and on a flask that was on the table next to her. There was also fingerprints in the glove that was at the crime scene. Eric Piedmont's fingerprints were also on the note that was at the crime scene. Ana Garcia's fingerprints were on the flask that was at the crime scene, and Dominique Hall's fingerprints were on the glove that was at the crime scene. Ana's phone had also been looked at for evidence. Some important information that came out from her phone was that Sam and Ana had recently had an argument in the physical alteration the day before she was found dead. Ana had also been taking medication for a headache the day before she was found dead. Dominique messages Ana about a scholarship that Ana had received that Dominique had wanted. Dominique questions why she didn't get it. A couple hours before she was found dead, Eric had messaged her and apologized about an argument they had the day before. Ana also jokes about Dominique hating her, but Dominique looks annoyed in the video that Ana posted. The blood samples at the crime scene were both blood and were both type A blood. Ana, Eric, and Dominique's blood were all type A. There was also a blood spatter at the crime scene that seemed to have fallen from a height of 64 centimeters. 64 centimeters was the height of the table next to Ana, which could mean that Ana could have hit her head or hurt herself with a table, which would result in her bleeding and maybe her death. The blood that was found on the floor and on the table were both Anna's. We used a procedure called gel electrophoresis to find this out. I believe Eric Piedmont was involved in Anna's death because his hair was found at the crime scene. Anna's death seemed to have been accidental because there is no other evidence that suggests otherwise. There isn't enough evidence to suggest that it was a homicide or to suggest that it was a natural death. I believe Anna might have been pushed or may have fallen and hit her head on the table, which could have caused her to die. This case isn't closed yet. We still need to find out how much medicine Anna took and the condition of her body. Some information that we still need to wrap up this case is the toxicology report, an autopsy report, the time of death for Anna, an entomology report, a histology report, and the gross anatomy examination. So far, this is all we have in the case, but we are not done yet.